It's a beautiful day today. I hope it's not too windy and doesn't interfere with the microphone. I thought I would sit out, enjoy the day, have some good German beer. Got my American flag. I know, it's kind of small, but I live in an apartment complex and I'm not allowed to modify the building itself to put a proper flag on. But that's okay. It's what's in the heart that matters and what I put into the system. That's good. I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me and something I actually cut a few corners on with an earlier video. And I hate to beat a dead horse. No, that's not true. I don't mind beating a dead horse. But what I do hate is giving an asshole like Eliot Roger the attention that he wanted. But there's a parable to be made from what he did. My first thought was, what a fucking loser. Sorry for the language, but it's true. What a loser. How much of a loser do you have to be to not be able to get laid in California when you have a BMW and your father is a director in Hollywood? I can't comprehend that. How? I just cannot comprehend that. He should have had no problems getting laid. Just to trying to put it in a way that's not necessarily blunt, but there really isn't one when you're dealing with a psychotic SOB like him. But I thought more about it, and I realized it's not just the fact that he was so socially awkward that he couldn't deal with women on an intimate level, or he couldn't even reach an intimate level with women. That sounds much better. He truly does represent liberals. He truly does. He's a product of the ultimate liberal environment in the U.S. He is the blessed child of a successful media liberal. It doesn't get any better than that for the left. And yet, he just could not find a woman in 22 years of life that would sleep with him. Sorry. No pity. Especially when you start thinking about it from how the liberals act in a political sense. What do they do? And what did he do? Well, just think about, compare the two. If his goal was so important to have sex with a member of the opposite sex, then he should have looked at himself. And he should have made some changes which would have improved his odds to capture a woman. Fun playing with these words. But he didn't do that. He did not look at himself. He did not attempt to change his mentality. He did not attempt to change the direction he was heading. He didn't change his approach. What he did was, he got angry. Why did he get angry? Because he felt entitled. He was entitled to what women had between their legs. He was entitled to that. It was his right by birth. Wait a minute. That just sounded too weird. If I edited, I would edit that out. I think I'll just have a drink instead. But yes, he did have that attitude, that sense of entitlement, that it's his right. There was nothing wrong with him. What was wrong was everything else in the world. I'm sorry, the world doesn't work like that. Just because you're born, it doesn't matter if you're born very low on the totem pole or if you're born at the top of the totem pole. You aren't entitled to shit. You have to make your own way from day one. If you're lucky enough to be born on the top, then hopefully the blessings of good parents and the knowledge and experience that they have will help give you a jump start of your own. And if you're born on the bottom, you go to the school of hard knocks. I know that school all too damn well. But there is no entitlement in the United States of America because we have no royalty. Just because you're the firstborn of the leader does not mean that you will one day be leader yourself. So, what did Mr. Roger do? Not only did he not change his approach to achieve his goal, excuse me, he got mad at everyone else. He got mad at the women that were giving sex to men. He got mad at the men that were getting sex from women. He got mad at everyone but the person that deserved the most blame, himself. Because you can't blame yourself. If you blame yourself, if you look really hard at yourself, you may discover that all of your conceptions, everything that you believe in, is based on a falsehood. I know. Because I was a very far left scumbag. But I had an event in my life that made me take a good hard look at myself. And when I looked at myself, I accidentally put everything I believed in under a microscope. And I discovered that it wasn't compatible with human nature. I was fighting against the current for no damn good reason at all. Well, Mr. Roger did more than fight against the current. It so frustrated him and so angered him that he had to strike back at everyone that was successful. But doesn't this sound like the liberal to you? What do they want to do with their higher taxes? They want to strike back at those who are successful. They want to take away. That's not just simple redistribution. No, they are punishing success because they could never achieve success in that way themselves. They couldn't build something like that themselves. They have to rely on someone else to do it, and then they want to take. And since Mr. Roger didn't have the cojones, didn't have the fortitude, or he just went a couple dozen steps past just the simple concept of rape, and he went straight to mass murder. Or at least that was his fantasy. Probably had something to do with his father and the Hunger Games movies, which, as I stated before, I didn't see, but I believe it is a ripoff of Battle Royale, which was a Japanese movie. So I believe it was that influence from his father's, the success his father had, that made him believe that he had to go straight to violence. Which also brings up the fact that He killed 6 people, 7 counting himself. 3 people were stabbed to death. Right there, that's 50% of the people that were killed with knives. Why are they talking about it as if it's a mass shooting? That sounds to me like a mass stabbing. That just doesn't go with the liberal agenda. We can't have knife control. He also tried to run people over. Where's car control? We need car control. It's obvious that people are dangerous with cars. They're trying to run people over because they're not getting laid. Really? There's no car control because it doesn't fit in with the leftist agenda. The leftist agenda is to disarm you so you can't fight against the rest of their agenda. That's what the leftist agenda is about. It has nothing to do with guns. It has nothing to do with knives. It has nothing to do with cars. It has to do with the second word, control. They want control over you. And if you're not able to fight back, you're controlled. I was going to go off about why I disagree with Glenn Beck because he talks about peaceful protests. And sorry, Glenn. That's not me. That may be you. More power to you, but that's not me. I will be involved in peaceful protests, but I don't believe in civil disobedience. I do believe in good German beer, though. Sorry, I just had somebody drive by staring at me like I'm crazy, so I had to laugh. Just catching my breath. These are the things that I would edit out of the video if I was a professional, but since I'm not a professional, they stay in and you get to laugh at me. But I'm sorry, every liberal reminds me of Eliot Roger. His ranting, his going on and on about how everyone else is getting what he deserves. The constant self-pity when you are such a blessed individual. How many people can afford a brand new BMW? Well, they are still in high school. I'm sorry, not high school, college. 20-something and driving a brand new BMW. That segment of the population would be that big. It's also a great testament of the failed parenting done by his parents. I just can't help but think about how they are just more than happy to say that they need more gun control, and they talk through their lawyer. Meanwhile, I wonder whose credit card he used to buy those guns. Could it be the parents' credit card? Just as something to think about. I wonder if that would leave them open for a lawsuit in California, a civil suit. Well, I killed my good German beer. So I will end this and get me another one. Just want to give much love to all of you on the right and those of you on the left. I won't flip you off this time. Instead, I will ask you to think, to be honest with yourself. Be honest about the way human nature is. Because that is what made me abandon the left. I was far left. Revolutionary. I wasn't one of these little peaceful hippie protesting cowards. I was somebody that believed in the teachings of Che Guevara, of Trotsky, of Lenin, that take everything by force, kill your enemy. I still believe in kill your enemy. It's part of my upbringing. The violence of the inner cities, a gift from my youth. But I don't deny what they denied. They denied human nature. Trotsky and Guevara both talked about creating the perfect socialist man. I'm sorry, if you have to create the perfect socialist man, that means it's not in our nature, because our nature is self-interest and greed. That is what human nature is about. If it does not benefit us in some way, we have no motivation to do it. So, to those of you on the left, think honestly about what is happening with those leftist policies. And are they really benefiting society? I don't think they are. I don't think they ever had a chance of benefiting society. But you have to make your own decision. So until you come to the right side, the side of our forefathers, or until I see you on the battlefield, because of polarization and the gap between the left and the right is becoming so huge, I don't think it can be bridged. I truly doubt that it can be bridged.